What's good, sports fans? Are you ready to elevate your live entertainment experience? Well, let me introduce you to SeatGeek, an amazing platform that connects you to your favorite events while saving you money. With SeatGeek, you can easily find tickets for sports games, concerts, and so much more, all in one place. The interface is user-friendly, making it simple to browse and compare prices. And one of the best features is the interactive seating chart. You can see exactly where you'll be sitting and how much you'll be spending, ensuring you get the best value for your money. But here's the best part. Check this out. By using my promo code, ChalkItUpSports, you can enjoy a one-time $20 discount on your first SeatGeek order. That's right, $20 off your first SeatGeek order. Imagine catching that thrilling game or concert without breaking the bank. It's a win-win situation. Plus, you'll be a part of a community of fans who eat, sleep, and breathe live events just as much as you do. So what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description to download the SeatGeek app today. And don't forget to use my promo code ChalkItUpSports for a one-time $20 discount on your first SeatGeek order. Get excited. Now let's get back to the show. Yo, what's going on? What's going on? This is your boy, Tone DeShields II. You guys are locked in on your dose of Chalk It Up Sports via the Chalk It Up Network, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. And your Philadelphia Eagles have won the big kahuna. They won the big one. They are Super Bowl champions, Super Bowl 59 champions, man. And I got to tell you, it's been a hell of a week. It's been a hell of a week for several reasons. Obviously, all the different interviews and press conferences we've seen, all the great footage, the behind-the-scenes footage from the Philadelphia Eagles, the mic'd ups and the unscripted episodes from the Eagles YouTube channel. We've been taking in a lot of dope content. We've been seeing a lot of people backtrack. We've been seeing a lot of people try to clean up their bad takes as it pertains to the Eagles, as it pertains to Jalen Hurts, Nick Sirianni, so on and so forth. We've seen a lot of backtracking over the past several days, a lot of backtracking. But most importantly, we got to experience arguably the biggest, the greatest, the most electric parades in football history. I don't think I've seen or heard about any sort of event like the Super Bowl parade that took place in Philadelphia last weekend, last Friday, Valentine's Day, that is. My God. I'm still recovering. I'm still recovering from the parade. Did a lot of walking, got my steps in. So many things to discuss, so many things to talk about as it pertains to the parade. I want to try to take you guys through my lens. I want to try to take you guys through everything that I've seen throughout this parade. And I mean, I can't get over just how lockstep the city was. There was no drama as far as I can tell. I didn't see any bad blood. I didn't see anybody doing anything illegal. It was just an overall spectacular experience. And I wouldn't trade it for the world. I wouldn't trade it for the world. So many people out there just having a good time. Good, clean fun. Good, healthy fun. And You see, there's nothing like riding the subway and there's nothing but Eagles green, nothing but the midnight green. You see Eagles fans any and everywhere. You just see everybody on one accord. One of the things I saw down there, a lot of people climbed trees, man. A lot of people was hanging from the rafters. Trees, light poles, street signs, parts of buildings, construction scaffolds, the overpass. People were on top of trucks. They were on top of semis and big rigs and box trucks. You saw people handing their babies over the barriers. You saw people getting their babies signed. The players dragged people over. The players dragged people over the rafters, over the barriers. Party with them. Shots everywhere, beer everywhere. A true celebration. It was so dope. One of the dopest things was the drone footage. I know a lot of you guys saw the drone footage. And as spectacular as the drone footage was, it doesn't do it justice as far as just being there. As far as just being there. Walking down the streets, seeing everybody heading in one direction. You know what I mean? I went down there with my dad, my brother, and a friend of my dad's, right? And everybody I knew was down there. But it was so much chaos. It was so congested down there. I mean, there were points where you were shoulder to shoulder with people, just trying to get to where you're trying to go. Everybody's jam-packed trying to get down to the art museum. Everybody's jam-packed trying to get to the barriers just so they can see the players and hopefully get dapped up. You know, each parade I learned something new. And each parade I'm even more impressed by the way my city does it. This go around, they actually had jumbotrons scattered along the parade route, playing the football game, playing the Super Bowl. And they also had speakers laced all the way down the route as well, playing sounds from the parade, playing sounds from the art museum, sounds by DJ Diamond Cuts. You feel what I'm saying? Like it was just a vibe. It was a vibe. The players were a vibe. The fans were a vibe. It was vendors everywhere. People selling Eagles gear, Eagles merch. You saw different vendors selling food, all the different food trucks out there. You saw people out there with their grills getting it popping. It was a beautiful day for commerce. If you were an entrepreneur, it was a beautiful day for you. It was a beautiful day for the entrepreneurs. I'll tell you that right now. The entrepreneurs made a killing. And that's what I love so much about when the Eagles win or when any team wins, right? But let's just stay with the Eagles. When the Eagles win, there's a culture shift in the city. There's an injection of life into the economy, be it if you're making money on the table or under the table. If you have a business, if you're trying to build a business, if you're trying to make money in your business, if you're trying to hustle, whatever it is you're trying to do, on the table, under the table, whatever business you're in, when the Eagles win, it's going to benefit your business. I saw people out there with their grills making hot dogs, sausages, burgers. You know what I'm saying? Different vendors, the halal trucks, the taco trucks, the Jamaican trucks, the burger trucks. Whatever you could think of, they had it out there. The funnel cake trucks. You saw OGs hustling their Eagles hoodies outside of the back of the truck, outside of the cardboard boxes. You saw people hustling their Eagles shirts, the Eagles big chains. You had people out there with the beer kegs and a wagon filled with ice, dragging them up and down the route. I know it's impossible to go through an entire event like this and not have one thing go wrong. I know it's impossible. There's always going to be something. There's going to be something, right? As far as I knew, as far as I experienced that parade, I didn't experience any drama at all. Everybody was dancing together, having fun together. You know what I'm saying? It was insane. People you didn't know showing you love. I did hear like one or two people did get hurt down there. But when you think about the amount of people who went to the parade, nearly 2 million people was in the city, nearly 2 million people. When you think about that, and only 2 people got hurt, I'm sorry. That's a win. That's a win. Over 2 million people attended the parade. And again, I don't know how many people got hurt, if any. I don't know. I don't know the exact number. But I didn't see anything crazy coming across the timeline or the news. I didn't see or hear. I didn't see anything. It couldn't have been that bad. And if it was, my apologies. I didn't see it. I wasn't there. Sorry. But again, what that parade did, what the Eagles winning does, it ejects so much life into the economy. Son Moku says, a YN got booked in the gallery was the only thing I saw. Big Daddy Long, yes, funny. Big Daddy says somebody got shot. Okay. Again, an event of that magnitude, it's impossible to not have something go wrong, right? It's impossible to have something not go wrong in an event of that magnitude. But again, nearly 2 million people. I don't know the exact numbers, but man, a beautiful turnout. I didn't experience no drama, and I was all over. I didn't experience nothing. My family, we had a good time. It wasn't no drama between the blacks, the Latinos, the white people, the Asians. I saw everybody hugging everybody. I saw everybody showing everybody love. You saw people was out there dragging big-ass subwoofers, big-ass speakers through the city, blasting music. Love Park was packed. The Art Museum was packed. The Franklin Institute was packed. The Parkway was packed. Broad Street was packed. City Hall was packed. I can't make it up. You had to be there. I can't make it up. You had to be there. You had to be there. Me and my wife, we flew in. And I told you guys I was going to be there. Me and wifey decided that we were going to fly in. And it's so funny. Prior to the Super Bowl even happening, weeks before, I said I'm going to the parade because I was that confident we were going to win it all. I was that confident that the Philadelphia Eagles had this shit on lock. And wifey and I got on our flights. But before we even got on the flights, there was so many Eagles fans flying from Texas. As you guys know, I was born and raised in Philly. And I recently moved to Texas. But when I tell you, I flew from Texas, had a layover in Atlanta, and then I went from Atlanta to Philly. And when I say there were so many Eagles fans on my route, so many Eagles fans on the planes, in the airports, I couldn't walk 10 feet, 20 feet without saying, "Go Birds." I couldn't walk more than 50 feet without somebody saying, "Go Birds, fly Eagles fly, go Birds." Even people that didn't have Eagles gear on, "Go Birds." It was like a secret handshake we had. I felt like I knew these people forever. It was like an insider. If you know, you know. I don't know if some of you guys had to fly in, but tell me you feel differently or don't feel differently. The Eagles fans don't get enough credit. There's Eagles fans everywhere. Everywhere. And we got more pride than the rest of them. My whole gate, Eagles green. Eagles green. And I'm talking, I didn't get the feeling until midnight. Midnight going into Friday. I didn't get the feeling until midnight. The airport packed with Eagles fans. Because they knew they couldn't miss this moment. They couldn't miss that parade. Everywhere I went, "Hey, you going to the parade, bro?" I'm like, "Hell yeah." "You going?" I'm sitting here striking up conversations with random Eagles fans. The culture we have, the culture we've built, bar none. Bar none. Bar none. So yeah, we land in Philly. We get some rest because we had we got up early and everything. Had to make sure you was layered up. It was cold as hell out there. But once you got down to the city, once you got down to the parade, it really wasn't that cold. Like I said, as you can see, people were shoulder to shoulder. It was a very big deal. Very big deal. Again, I'm speaking solely about my experience. I got to give credit to the Philadelphia Police Department. I got to give credit to the Philadelphia Police Department. And again, I'm speaking only about my experience. The Philadelphia Police Department, no issues. They understood what time it was. They understood that the vibes were going to be high. People were going to be drinking. People were going to be smoking. All that stuff. People was going to be climbing trees. People was going to be climbing light posts. I got to give credit to the Philadelphia Police Department for being a good sport about everything. PHL Dave, he says, "I flew in from Charlotte. I didn't expect much on the plane, but let me tell you, that plane to and from was Eagles green. I landed at 10:50 a.m. Friday morning. Go fucking Birds." Yo, Dave, if you know, you know. There was Eagles fans everywhere. Everywhere. K Order Green says, "I was out there early. It was cold as fuck out there." Man, I'm going to be honest. I didn't get down there until about 8:30 in the morning. I know some of y'all got there like 5 a.m., 6 a.m. I know a lot of y'all got there pretty early. Yeah, I wasn't doing that. Listen, my flight didn't land until about 12:30 in the morning. I didn't get to my parents' house until my brother's house. I didn't get to my brother's house because me and my wife stayed at my brother's house. I didn't get there until about 1 in the morning. So I wasn't going to be down in the city around 4 or 5 a.m. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But Simone was out there like 5 a.m. Simone mad at us right now, too. Simone mad at me and LB, by the way. We're going to get into that. But Simone got a bone to pick with me and LB. Scotty says, the PPD was celebrating. Yo, they were. They was turned up. Akbar Divine says, damn, Tone, I ain't know you was there, homie. That's what's up. Yeah, man. Hell yeah. Let me get to these super chats, too. My man Big Daddy says, you seen Barkley pick bro up like he was nothing? Bro, Barkley was on one, man. I think what happened was they saw the ball boy or the ball guy that handles the footballs for the team. They saw him on the parade route, and he said, "Yo, what you doing down here? Or what you doing over here? Why you ain't with us?" He said, "Hey, man, I'm just chilling, man." He picked his ass up over the barrier and said, "No, you partying with us. You with us for the day." That was so dope to me. That was so dope. Thank you for the super chat, Big Daddy. Davon with the super chat. Thank you, my man. He says Crosby's the next exciting white. Let's do it, Howie. Hey, man. Max Crosby, he's a great player. He's a really great player. He would definitely bring a tenacity to the defensive line for sure. Scotty the man. He says, you go to Gilly's after party? No, I couldn't make it, man. I couldn't make it. I'm gonna be honest. I was so beat from the parade. After I left downtown, me, my dad, and my brother, we went and got cheesesteaks and called it a day, man. Went and got cheesesteaks and called it a day. Young Truth, what's going on, big dog? He says Texas to Philly as well. We was lit. Let him know, bro. Bro, it was crazy. It was crazy. It was insane how massive this celebration was. It was insane how massive it was. I'm telling you, there's not a city that does it better than us. There's not a city out there that does it better than Philadelphia when it comes to winning time. There's not a city out there. Thank you for the super chat, fellas. I appreciate it. Rex says, I was on Passyunk and Broad. Oh, yeah, you was down South Philly. Melvin Gilmore says, what up, Tone? We took over the Super Bowl. Go Birds. Yo, son. Yo, Moku says, Nolan almost kidnapped the kid. Yo, it was crazy. Yo, it was so funny, bro. Nolan Smith was on one. Quinyon Mitchell was lit. Quinyon Mitchell was lit. Him, Nolan. Who else was on one on the parade route? It was just dope, man. I can't. Q and Nolan was cooked. They was cooked. Yo, M. Reyes said Nolan really wasn't about to give up that kid. Little Landon was cooked too. Yo, James Bradbury had to save Quinyon from himself. Scotty with the super chat. Thank you, my friend. He says, I think Philly gets Walker from Jacksonville. Oh, you talking about Trevon Walker? That'd be crazy. That would be nuts to get Trevon Walker. He's a good player, too. Georgia kid. K. Order said Quinyon was sloshed. Sweet Chin Music said Q was gone. Tone Chosen said shit was popping. Yo, wasn't it popping, bro? That shit was popping. Big Chris says Howie was drunk. Yo, Howie Roseman took a beer can to the forehead, bro. He took a beer can to the forehead. You know what's so crazy about that, too? They tried to say Philly ain't shit because we hit Howie in the head with a beer can, right? And my whole thing is Everybody throws beer cans on the parade route. You got to catch it. And Howie Roseman, Howie tried to catch it. He tried to catch it. And it was a hard catch. It hit him in the forehead. He took it like a champ. My man was walking down the parade route with a hickey and a cigar. Like, what's good? I'll bleed for this city. What's good? He said, I'll bleed for this city. Akbar said, Tone, where was you at? I was at City Hall with Xander and his pop. Man, I'm trying to think. I was everywhere. So I was on the Parkway. I was up and down the Parkway, man. I was as close to the art museum as I could get. It got so crowded. Devontae with the super chat, thank you. He said, your boy Xander was killing it with the coverage at the parade, and I've never seen so many women be Eagles fans until I opened up TikTok. Yeah, shout out to them, man. Shout out to Xander and those guys over there at Jacob. They did a good job covering. They did a good job covering what was going on in the city. Shout out to Xander. Shout out to them, man. Thank you for the super chat, Devontae. Ian Blackwell said how he ate that shit. Yo, listen. That's the kind of thing you're going to be able to tell stories. Listen, scars have stories. Scars have stories. You feel what I'm saying? Rome said, nah, the video I saw, he wasn't even aware. Well, regardless, man, we know how it goes down on the parade route. We know how it goes down. The fans throwing beers, trying to get you to catch them. We know how it goes down. Man. A small casualty. Hey, but did he die? He's all good. Young Truth with the super chat. Thank you, my friend. He says, we get, we get live too, bro, in Texas. Everything big in Texas, bro. No, I like Texas, man. I like Texas. Scotty the Man says, did you watch the New Heights last week? I felt bad for 87. I watched part of it. And here's my take on that. And I'm not going to spend too much time on it. But listen, from Jason Kelce's perspective, Jason Kelce, it's his brother. And Jason is a big softy. He's a sensitive guy. So he's going to feel for his brother. And look, it wasn't like it was a competitive game. His brother got waxed. The Chiefs got waxed. They got destroyed. They got curb stomped. They got their face punched in. So Jason Kelce felt bad for his brother. It's still his brother at the end of the day. It's his brother. So I'm not mad at Jason Kelce trying to toe that line between his Eagles fandom and being there for his brother, who's probably experiencing a new low in his career. His brother's considering retirement. He got cracked in the Super Bowl. It's a lot of emotions that his brother, Travis Kelce, is trying to balance and trying to go through right now. And it wouldn't be right for him to just go on that podcast or just be basking in his brother's demise. I understand we're Eagles fans, but I'm also a brother, a big brother at that. A big brother. So I understand the challenge Jason Kelce I understand the challenge Jason Kelce was dealing with. I understand the challenge. So I'm not going to kill him. I'm not going to kill him for trying to be fair and balanced with his brother. Because his brother is experiencing a new low in his career. It's not easy. Now, as far as Travis Kelce goes, do I feel bad for Travis Kelce? Fuck no. No, I don't. I don't feel bad for Travis Kelce at all. Me personally, I don't. Do I understand why Jason Kelce was trying to be balanced with his brother and his fandom? Yeah, I do. And do I also understand why Travis Kelce was trying to keep it cool at the parade? He didn't play in that game. He retired the year before. He didn't play in that game. So he has to let those guys have their moment. He can't make it about him. He can't go down in that parade and celebrate like he won that game. He can't make it about him. He came down there. He had on his Eagles colors, had on his classic Eagles fleece or bomb or whatever it was. He came down there, supported. He was at the art museum. He supported. But he can't go down there and make it about him. I had no problem with Jason Kelce's temperament. But do I feel bad for Travis Kelce? I don't. I don't feel bad for Travis Kelce at all. Not in the slightest. You got your ass beat. Straight like that. Straight like that. You got your ass beat. When Travis Kelce came to the game in that California, in that Buffalo pimp suit, oh yeah, I knew they was losing. When Travis Kelce showed up to the game with that weird ass haircut and that Buffalo pimp suit he had on, like he was selling coke in the 80s, in the 70s. Yeah, you deserve to get your ass beat. Belt to ass. So, yeah. I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad at all for Travis Kelce. John Pott says Travis Kelce said this was the most confident he ever came into a game, so it had to hit differently with that loss. See, that's my problem right there. That's my problem. That's my problem. This was easily the best team you face in the Super Bowl. You talking about you come in more confident than ever, and your team isn't as good as they used to be, and you're talking about you came in more confident than ever. Listen, I can't sit here and judge a man's confidence. If he's confident, he's confident. But to just say they took us lightly. They took us lightly. Let's call it what it is. They took us lightly. And we came in there and it didn't take them lightly at all. Candy says, did Travis Kelce look sad for Jason when he lost 2 years ago? Did he go on Twitter with any long paragraph about feeling sad for Jason? Jason can go away respectfully. Listen, Candy, you're entitled to your opinion. What my perspective is, based on what you said, of course, based off what you said, my perspective is they're two different people. And how Jason handles something isn't the same as how Travis would handle something. I'm sure if you have siblings, you guys are different from each other. You guys handle different circumstances differently. So, again, you're entitled to your opinion. You're entitled to your opinion for sure. But that's how Jason decided to handle his brother. That's how Jason decided to handle his brother. And it kind of blows my mind that some of you guys are so quick to flip on Jason Kelce like this. It's almost unhealthy. It's unhealthy for a guy like Jason Kelce, who has dedicated everything to this city, who's put his body on the line, whose family has invested so much into this city. He's invested so much to this organization. For you guys, for some of you guys, to be so quick to toss him to the wayside because you guys didn't like how he handled the Super Bowl, trying to handle his brother. It's weird to me. It's weird to me that people could just flip like that. That's very weird to me. I'm not sitting here trying to figure out what was on another man's heart. He decided to handle his brother the way he wanted to handle his brother. Simple as that. Like, I can't, everybody is entitled to their opinion, though. It is what it is. Ace Lux with the super chat. Thank you, Ace. I appreciate you. He says, Ravens fans complaining about the Eagles' talent is hilarious. The Ravens played the Bills, a team they were more talented than across the board, and lost. Exactly. There are so many teams, so many fan bases who are dealing with sour grapes. There are so many other fan bases that are dealing with sour grapes, and it's really hilarious. Ravens fans, y'all had your chance. Y'all had your chance. Bills fans, y'all had your chance. Green Bay fans, y'all had your chance. Rams fans, y'all had your chance. Cowboys fans, y'all had your chance. Commanders fans, y'all had your chance. Lions fans, y'all had your chance. Chiefs fans, y'all had your chance. So many fan bases out there got sour grapes. Because they team couldn't get it done. And they love calling the Philadelphia Eagles a super team, as if we just manufactured this thing out of thin air. As if we just got a bunch of stars that can play for us, like it's the Golden State Warriors or like it's the Miami Heat. Nah, we built this thing brick by fucking brick. We took our lumps. We didn't forget. A lot of y'all didn't have us making the playoffs. The roster didn't change. The players didn't change. When we got our new coaches after the draft, even after getting Saquon Barkley, a lot of y'all didn't have us making the playoffs. They didn't have us making the playoffs. All of a sudden, we're a super team. Make it make sense. It's the same roster from week one. Come on, man. Y'all can't have it both ways. Y'all cannot have it both ways. I had so much fun. Thank you for the super chat, Ace. I had so much fun at the parade. It was phenomenal. Let me get through these super chats, then we're going to move on to another topic here. Scotty with the super chat. He says, Chiefs fans wanted that three-peat. This loss hurt bad. Yeah, it did. It did hurt bad. And here's the thing that Chiefs fans don't want to reconcile with. There's a chance you lose Travis Kelce this offseason. Andy Reid is getting older. You have a lot of holes to fill on your offensive line and on your defense. In my opinion, your wide receiver core is average at best. Your running back room is mediocre. The Chiefs have some things that they got to reconcile with. The only bright spot on the Chiefs is Patrick Mahomes. You know, even Chris Jones is getting older, right? I have a hot take. The Chiefs don't make it to the Chiefs don't make it to the AFC Championship in 2025. That's a hot take. I have a hot take. That's my hot take. And I'm gonna stick by it. So I want you guys to hold me to that. I'm gonna stick by it. They got Xavier Worthy, but let's be honest about this. Like, how can I really judge Xavier Worthy when he got those numbers when we stopped playing football? How can like Xavier Worthy? He cool. He all right. He's fast. He's all right. Rashee Rice, he's all right. He's cool. But let's be honest. Would Rashee Rice be a number one on any other team? Would Xavier Worthy be a number one on any other team? Would Hollywood Brown be a number one on any other team? They don't have a definitive number one. And I think the Chiefs have tried to they've tried to go as long as they possibly could without really investing in the roster as much and allowing Patrick Mahomes to carry them. And I think they realized they can't keep playing this talent game anymore. What the Eagles did to them exposed how limited the Chiefs are. You guys got to look at it from that perspective. What the Eagles did to them exposed the talent gap. That's a real thing. That's a real thing, you guys. What the Eagles did to the Chiefs exposed a very vast talent gap in the Chiefs and the Eagles. It exposed just how much Mahomes was carrying that team. That Super Bowl exposed just how much he was carrying them throughout the season. And everybody kept saying, oh, you gotta respect the Chiefs, you gotta respect the Chiefs. And the reality is they overcomplicated the matchup. There was no way in hell the Chiefs were beating the Eagles. No way in hell. No way in hell. All right. Scotty got another super chat. He said the Swifties and the Chiefs fans out of pocket for trolling CJ's mom. Hey, listen, it's par for the course, man. They're upset. They're heartbroken. It's par for the course, man. It's par for the course. Par for the course. Alex with the super chat. He says, Jason Kelce has rubbed me the wrong way since last year when we lost to Tampa. And the next week, he was in Buffalo cracking bears and having a good time. Well, look. I personally can't manufacture outrage for myself, right? If that bothered you, Alex, hey, it bothered you. But me, if something doesn't bother me, I'm not going to pretend like it did. You know what I mean? I'm going to be honest with you guys and say if it bothered me, it bothered me. If it didn't, it didn't. And it didn't bother me. I didn't think twice about it. You know, he retired. It's the off season. You know, he gets to live his life now. So it didn't really bother me personally, if I'm being completely honest with you. I just got to be honest about that. It didn't bother me. Thank you for the super chat, Alex. Davon Tyree. We are the champions. We are the champions. Yes, sir. Man, phenomenal week, phenomenal game, phenomenal parade, phenomenal. Just flat out phenomenal. Me personally, Jason Kelce don't owe me nothing. Jason Kelce doesn't owe me a damn thing. Me personally. Hall of Fame center, future Eagles Hall of Famer, multi-time All-Pro, multi-time Pro Bowler, has held down the position, for over a decade, has been an Iron Man, didn't miss games, played through injury, helped develop Jalen Hurts at the line of scrimmage, helped develop Cam Jurgens and the rest of that interior offensive line. Jason Kelce don't owe me nothing. He don't owe me nothing. So I can't sit here and be angry or be outraged. It's not something that bothers me, man. He don't owe me nothing. Scotty back again. He said, "What happened to wearing sunglasses all off season?" Well, listen, I do wear. Scotty, you funny. I wear eyeglasses, so I mean, my vision isn't the best. I still need my glasses to see, but you know, don't worry, man. We celebrating all off season, man. We talking our shit all off season, Scotty. Scotty, you funny though. You funny as hell for that. You funny for that. I need to be able to see and do the work that I'm doing so I could, so I could vibe with y'all. You know what I mean? Thank you for the super chat, Scotty. All right. Let's shift gears a little bit. So I want to talk to you guys about some upcoming free agents for the Philadelphia Eagles. Okay. So that's what we're going to do here. I want to talk about some free agents with you guys, okay? Make sure you guys smash that like button. You guys are tuned in to Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. I want to talk to you guys about some upcoming Eagles free agents. We know off the top of our head, there's a lot of guys who are going to be priorities. Who are going to be priorities, right? So let's check this out here. As of right now, upcoming Eagles free agents include Josh Sweat, who's 27 years old. Brandon Graham, edge or DN, 36 years old. Zach Bond, 28 years old, linebacker. Mekhi Becton, guard, 25 years old. Avonte Maddox, corner, 28 years old. CJ Uzoma, tight end, 32 years old. Milton Williams, D tackle, 25 years old. LaRaven Clark, tackle, 31 years old. Rick Lovato, long snapper, 32 years old. Fred Johnson, tackle, 27 years old. Oren Burks, linebacker, 29 years old. Jack Driscoll, guard, 27 years old. Nick Gates, center, 29 years old. Isaiah Rogers, corner, 27 years old. Britton Covey, receiver, 27 years old. Kenneth Gainwell, running back, 25 years old. Ben Van Sumeren, linebacker, 24 years old. All right, so we had to discuss our priorities here, right? We had to discuss our priorities. So for me, number one priority, Zach Bond. Zach Bond, in my opinion, is the number one priority this offseason. Let me tell you why. Because it's significantly more difficult to find a linebacker as effective as Zach Bond than it is to find a defensive lineman as effective as Milton Williams or Josh Sweat. And hear me out. This is me not trying to say I'm not trying to say Milton Williams is expendable or just replaceable, right? I'm not trying to say Josh Sweat is expendable or just replaceable. I'm not trying to diminish those gentlemen. But when you think about how deep this draft class is in terms of defensive linemen, when you think about the Philadelphia Eagles drafting Moro Ojomo 2 seasons ago or last season out of Texas, who's proven that he's an effective pass rusher and effective in run defense. The Eagles drafted Moro Ojomo to hedge their bet in the event they can't bring back Milton Williams. Just how they drafted Nolan Smith to hedge their bet if they can't bring back Hassan Reddick at a reasonable price. As much as I love Milton Williams and how dominant he's been, he's priced himself out. Milton Williams will not be affordable for the Philadelphia Eagles based off of everything I think they should do. Milton Williams is going to command north of $20 million a season. As a matter of fact, I want to give you guys an idea of what these defensive tackles are making in the NFL. I'm going to give you guys an idea. Let's just stay on Milton Williams for a little while because I want to make sure you guys understand where I'm coming from with this. I want you guys to really see where I'm coming from with this. So I want you guys to look at some of these contracts that defensive tackles are getting. Look at these average salaries. Hold on, this damn ad, man. All right. Look at these average salaries. Check this. This is the salary rankings for D tackles in the NFL. Just check this out. Chris Jones, $31.7 million. Christian Wilkins, $27.5 million. Nnamdi Madubuike for Baltimore, $24.5 million. Aleem McNeil, who was actually in the same draft class as Milton Williams, $24.2 million. Derek Brown, Carolina Panthers, $24 million. Quinyon Williams, $24 million. Jeffrey Simmons, $23.5 million. DeForest Buckner, $23 million. Jerron Payne, $22.5 million. Dexter Lawrence, $21.8 million. Kenny Clark, $21.3 million. Javon Hargrave, $21 million. Christian Barrymore, $20.7 million. Jonathan Allen, $18 million. Vita Vea, $17.7 million. Ed Oliver, $17 million. Grady Jarrett, $16.8 million. Milton Williams, with how he's played over the course of this season, he had 2 sacks in the Super Bowl. He had 5 sacks over the course of the NFL season at the defensive tackle position. He's a tackle for loss machine. He can defend the run. He's versatile. He's really athletic, sideline to sideline. He's a violent pass rusher. Milton Williams is going to command north of $20 million easily. Defensive tackles are getting wide receiver money. So it's going to be really difficult to retain a guy like Milton Williams. Hence why I believe Howie Roseman drafted Moro Ojomo and also traded for former Las Vegas Raider D tackle Byron Young. And you also still got Thomas Booker IV. Howie Roseman has hedged his bet at the D tackle position. And don't be surprised if they draft another guy, be it in the first or second round. So I'm telling you, the way Milton Williams has played, the way he's developed, do not be surprised. Do not be surprised if he gets more than $20 million. Yeah. Defensive tackles are getting paid like wide receivers, y'all. Yes. Melly J says, damn, I didn't know they was getting that type of bag. Yeah. Yeah. Q-Biz. Exactly. It's going to be cheaper to keep Zach Bond. It may be cheaper to keep Josh Sweat. Q says the only problem is Detroit, the Commanders, or the 49ers may get Milton and Garrett. Milton and Garrett, excuse me. Well, it all depends. It all depends. But Josh Sweat has earned himself some big money too. So let's move on to Josh Sweat, right? Because again, I think Zach Bond should be the priority. You want to know why? He's going to be cheaper than those guys, and he's going to stabilize your defense. He's cheaper, and his value may be equal to, if not more valuable than those guys in the Eagles defense. If I'm the Philadelphia Eagles, my goal is Zach Bond and Mekhi Becton. That's my goal. Zach Bond and Mekhi Becton. Because you can get Mekhi Becton on a reasonable deal. You see, it's about value, right? It's about value. And let's look at some of these contracts for edge rushers, right? Nick Bosa, $34 million. Joshua Hines Allen, $28.2 million. Brian Burns, $28 million, or $28.2. TJ Watt, $28 million. Myles Garrett, $25. Daniil Hunter, $24.5. Montez Sweat, $24.5. Rashawn Gary, $24 million. Max Crosby, $23.5. Bradley Chubb, $22 million. Leonard Williams, $21.5. Trey Hendrickson, $21. Joey Bosa, $20.1. Von Miller, $20. See, I think Josh Sweat is probably going to command between Josh Sweat will probably get between 17 and 20 million. He may get between 17 and 20 million. Why they got Fred Warner on as the edge? That's strange. Anyway, I think Josh Sweat may get between 17 and 20 million. He may. But maybe between 16 and 19. You're going to lose Josh Sweat. You're going to lose Milton Williams. I would be shocked. I would be shocked if Harry Roseman found a way to keep I would be shocked if they could keep Milton Williams and Josh Sweat. That Super Bowl performance, 2.5 sacks in the Super Bowl for Josh Sweat, 2 sacks in the Super Bowl, 2 sacks in the Super Bowl for Milton Williams. They're gone. I just have a hard time believing they're back here. But Zach Bond, when you think about what his position is getting, let's get to linebacker. Let's get there. Linebacker. See, this off-ball linebacker shit is mixed in with the edge rusher, so it's kind of confusing. But this is what we got to really compare it to, really. Zach Bond could command between, let's see here. He's an all-pro, first-team all-pro, Super Bowl champion. He was in the run. He was a defensive player. He was a defensive player of the year finalist. Oof. The contracts for linebacker get a little weird because now you're trying to figure out what a guy does. The edge rushers are mixed in with the linebackers. The inside linebacker contracts are mixed in with the off-ball linebackers. I think Zach Bond is going to get between 10 to 15. I think Zach Bond gets between 10 to 15 million. He's not getting 20. He's not getting 20. You want to know why? Because although I think you're more likely to see Zach Bond get something in between these two numbers. You may see Zach Bond get around what Patrick Queen got. You really may see that. Because again, you got to keep in mind, Zach Bond has only been able to do this for one season. He's only proven this over one season. You got to think about that. Yes, he's a first-team All-Pro. Yes, Super Bowl champion. But his sample size is only one season. So that's where the Eagles have leverage. That's where the Eagles have leverage. And also, because Zach Bond won a Super Bowl here, and this was the team where he got his success under Vic Fangio, the Eagles are going to find a way to keep Zach Bond. And also you have the Super Bowl as leverage. Why would he want to leave a team like this? Why would he want to leave a team like this? You got to think about that. You got to think about that. Sometimes when it comes to these players, it's not always about the money. It's going to also be about what situation allows me to be the best player I can be. What situation is going to maximize my skill set? Which situation can I win in? Which situation is going to allow me to win? TJ Edwards is not Zach Bond, no, Scotty. Scotty says we let TJ Edwards walk too. TJ Edwards and Zach Bond don't breathe the same air. TJ Edwards and Zach Bond don't breathe the same air. They don't. Let's not even pretend. Let's not pretend. Let's not pretend here. Zach Bond is going to get like maybe 15 million, maybe. Luther Winfield says, what up, Tone? The problem with Bond is how we set the floor with Huff, who was a healthy scratch in the Super Bowl. Bond and Sweat negotiations will start at minimum 15 to 60 million. I think Milton is gone. I think Sweat is gone. We may bring Bond back. I think Howie's going to make Zach Bond a priority. I don't think you let a linebacker like Bond go. Simple as that. Easy Flex says you only get one chance at a max deal. You're absolutely right, my friend. I fully expect Milton Williams to get as much he can get. I expect Josh Sweat to get as much he can get. I expect Zach Bond to try to get as much he can get, right? But I also can't pretend like the Super Bowl doesn't have any value. Being on a team like this doesn't have value. I can't sit here and pretend like it doesn't help in negotiations, because it does. Regardless, though, everyone has their opinion about how the thing is going to go. I think Howie Roseman is going to make Zach Bond a priority. I think Howie is reconciled with the fact that he's going to lose Milton Williams. I think he's reconciled with that fact. I think he's reconciled with the fact that he's going to lose Josh Sweat. And here's the thing. Howie Roseman hedged his bet. Did you guys see how Jalen Hurts came on the back end of the season? Did you guys see how Moro Ojomo played this season? Did you guys see how Jordan Davis has started to come on as a little bit of a pass rusher a little bit? And you got Jalen Carter. You got Byron Young. You're going to have to continue to develop the guys you have on your roster. And you're also going to have to draft well. I think Howie makes Zach Bond priority number one. Think about it. If Josh Sweat goes, okay, I can draft more guys, but also I got Jalen Hurts, who I've developed. Nolan Smith, who I've developed, right? If Milton Williams goes, okay, you got Jalen Carter, who you developed. Jordan Davis, who you developed. You got Moro Ojomo, who you developed, right? You got Thomas Booker IV, who you developed. You still got Byron Young under contract, who you've been developing behind the scenes, an Alabama D tackle. And you're probably going to draft another guy. But behind Zach Bond, who do you have? Who do you have behind Zach Bond? I think Zach Bond is more valuable than Milton Williams and Josh Sweat. I think he is more valuable because there is a scarcity in what Zach Bond does in the NFL. Whereas though at deep tackle, there's not. There's not. There's way more Milton Williams and Josh Sweats in the NFL than there are Zach Bonds. Would you guys agree with that? Would you guys agree with that? There's more Milton Williams and Josh Sweats in the NFL than there are Zach Bonds. Would you guys agree or disagree? Easy Flex says, I agree. Numair Jermaine says, yes. Chaotic says, yep. Looking for Sasuke. Yep. Says facts. Eddie Bradley says, yes. Sun Monoku says, yeah, facts. S. Blunt says, and on our team, Dean is out. Exactly. Dean is out with a torn patella. We have no idea when Dean is coming back. Dean's injury has upped the value for Zach Bond. You're likely going to be starting your season with Zach Bond and Jeremiah Trotter Jr. as your starting linebackers. Sweet chinny music. For us, there isn't another Bond, that's for sure. The Eagles Net says restructures just kick the cap hit down the road, and we already got a lot of cap push to 2028, 2029. Can't restructure all the money down the road. Akbar Devon says agreed. Melly J says, yeah. Reese David says Zach is a must, Tone. Bo 1990 says Zach Bond and Mekhi Becton are my resigns. Devontae says I agree 100%. Scotty the man says Bond will be 29 in the next Super Bowl. So, Fanny the Eagles fan says facts. JDM Life says facts. Keith Ashby says Bond is in the system made for his skills. Absolutely. Scotty says Oren Burks not getting resigned. It's a possibility. Who knows? But Oren Burks has earned him some money. Here's the thing, you guys. Oren Burks, the way he played in the playoffs, Oren Burks may get a big, not big, but Oren Burks earned some money. You may lose Oren Burks because he played well in the playoffs. Everybody saw that on the national stage. Oren Burks may get a nice little 2-year, 3-year deal from somewhere for a team desperate at linebacker. Seriously. Oren Burks may get a nice little 2-year deal. He may get a nice little 2-3-year deal. The way he played in the playoffs, the way he stepped up, Oren Burks earned him some money. He earned him some money. See, you guys got to think about this. You guys got to think about it from the perspective of organizations who are desperate. You got to think about it from the perspective of organizations who need players. Free agency is when teams overpay. They're going to overpay for a guy like Zach Bond. Oren Burks. They're going to overpay for a guy like Josh Sweat. They're going to overpay for a guy like Milton Williams. And that's not saying Milton Williams, Oren Burks, or Josh Sweat didn't earn their money, but they're going to overpay for guys like that because they're desperate. It's free agency. That's why it's so important to build your team through the draft. Because if you continue to rely on free agency, you're never going to have enough money to retain players. You're never going to have enough money to sign your draft picks. You're always going to be overpaying guys. You're always going to be trying to restructure contracts. You want to build your team through the draft. So you got to think about it from the perspective of teams are going to overpay for Oren Burks and what he did in the Super Bowl, what he did in the Rams game, what he did in the Green Bay game, what he did in the Commanders game. Teams are going to overpay. Josh Sweat, teams are going to overpay for that. Milton Williams, he's going to get $20 million. He's going to get $20 million. Zach Bond is priority number one. As a matter of fact, let's try to figure out what Spot Rack or Spotrac. Let's try to get a sense for what Spotrac is predicting Zach Bond's market value would be. Okay, let's try to get an idea here. This matter of fact, we don't got to argue about this, y'all. We're gonna do this for everybody. We're gonna look at the market value for a lot of people. And thank you guys for the super chats. I really do appreciate it. Let me read some of these real quick. As Blunt says, also Jordan Davis and Cam Jurgens up for extensions, and who gets cut, Slay. That's another thing too, right? Jordan Davis is going to be up for an extension. You got to decide if you're picking up his 5th-year option. Cam Jurgens is going to be coming up soon. Cam Jurgens is entering year 4, the final year of his deal. Darius Slay, what are you going to do with him, right? Docho Holiday with the super chat. Chiefs fans can't accept the fact that they got neutralized. Chiefs fans can't accept the fact that they neutralized Saquon and still got dismantled. Jalen and them boys let the rhythm hit them. Go Birds. Scotty the man says Broncos might outbid us for Bond. We'll see. Alex says with Eagles potentially losing Milton and Sweat, they're going to get some compensatory picks next year. How are we going for Garrett? Scotty the man says Sweat is fool's gold. Let's talk about it. I wouldn't say fool's gold. Kilda Green says only 2 off-ball linebackers under contract next year are Trotter and Dean. And Dean is injured. We need Bond. Exactly. His value is through the roof right now. All right. So this is what we're going to do. We're not going to overcomplicate this. We're gonna find our guys' market value. Okay, we're gonna find out their market value. We're gonna find out what Spot Track or Spot Track is saying. Okay, let's check this out. For Josh Sweat, his market value right now. Josh Sweat's market value right now is $18.8 million average annual salary. This is what Spotrac is predicting, and his agent is Drew Rosenhaus. Yo, Josh Sweat's market value right now is $18.8 million. And his agent is Drew Rosenhaus. You know Sweat is going to get a bag. He's going to get a bag. Let's move on. Let's go to Zach Bond. Let's go to Zach Bond's predicted market value. This is Zach Bond's predicted average annual market value. And his agent is Jimmy Sexton. Zach Bond's calculated market value is $9.7 million average annual salary. Now, he may get a little more than this. He may get a little more than this. He may get around 12 or 13. You guys got to remember the position Zach Bond plays. The position he plays is like a inside. He plays inside. He plays off ball. He's versatile. But he was the Mike when the Kobe went down. So I think like Zach Bond. See, here's the thing: Zach Bond is more valuable than Josh Sweat and Milton Williams, and he's going to be cheaper. Think about it. Think about it like this. Think about it like this, right? Who would you say has more value to their team? Hear me out on this. Saquon Barkley is making about 12 to 13 million a year. Wow, there's wide receivers in the NFL making 20 plus million that don't give you not even half of the production that Saquon Barkley gives you. You see, it's all about value. Saquon Barkley is a running back who's getting paid running back money, but at the same time, there are wide receivers in the NFL who don't even sniff Saquon Barkley's production, who can't even sniff Saquon Barkley's value. And they're getting paid 20 plus million because that's what their position commands. So when we get to Zach Bond, it says outside linebacker here. But when Kobe got hurt, he was playing the inside. He was the Mike. He was everywhere. So, his birthday, December 30th? That's the day before my birthday. But my point is, what Zach Bond does, and on top of that, he's only giving you a year's sample size of that. That's where the Eagles have leverage. He's only done it for a year. He did it under Vic Fangio. He wasn't able to do this anywhere else. Granted, he didn't get a chance to start anywhere else. So Again, Zach Bond compared to Josh Sweat, I think Zach Bond is more valuable. What he provided to you in pass coverage, what he provided in defending the run, making sure guys were lined up properly, what he provided in forcing turnovers, interceptions, forced fumbles, running sideline to sideline, his play recognition. Zach Bond's value has been astronomically higher than what Josh Sweat has provided the Philadelphia Eagles this season. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. I'm paying Zach Bond before I pay Josh Sweat. Now, let's get to Milton Williams' projected value. Well, let's go to Mekhi Becton. Let's just go in order. We're going to go to Mekhi Becton next. No, you know what? Let's stay on defense. Sorry, you guys. Let's stay on defense. We're going to say Milton Williams. We're going to go Milton Williams, right? Now, listen, Milton Williams is 25 years old. Milton Williams is definitely not coming back to the Philadelphia Eagles. Definitely not coming back. Let's go to his market value. Before I click on it, though, we're going to go to Milton's, right? Let me ask you guys a question. What do you guys believe Milton Williams' predicted average annual salary will be? What do you guys predict Milton Williams' average annual salary will be? Do you predict 20 million, 25 million, 18 million, 22 million, 19 million? What are you guys predicting before I click on it? Scotty says 23 million. Brandon Man says 25 million. Looking for Sasuke says 12 million. You're crazy. Private McClunky says 26 million. Caleb Throws This says 18 million. I'm seeing 22 million, 19.5 million, 22, between 17 and 22 million. S. Blunt, give me something more specific. Give me something a little bit more specific. Give me something a little more specific. Ian Blackwell, give me something a little bit more specific. Salmonoku says 20 million plus. Bam says 20 million. Keith Ashby says 21 million. AJ Harris, 22.5, 16 million, 15 million. Marquise, give me something a little bit more specific. S. Blunt says 18 million. Marquise Dunn says 3 years, 24 million. Bro, that's 8 million a year. Hell no. Think about his age. Think about how he's played over the course of his career and this season. Avneet says 18.5. And remember, it's free agency. They overpay. They overpay in free agency. And I showed you guys what a lot of those D tackles are making. They're making wide receiver money. So let's click on it and find out. Milton Williams, predicted market value. Wow, that's crazy. Are they serious? No way. No way. No way. No way. No way. Oh my God. What? Is this thing broken? He's getting way more than that. They smoking crack. He's getting way more than that. They playing now. They playing. They are way off. They are way off. They are way off. Milton Williams is getting a minimum of 19 million. He's getting a minimum of 18, 19 million. That's way off. I know some of you guys don't believe that. Hargrave got 20 million from San Francisco KGK. 20 million. I'm kind of shocked at this. I'm really shocked. I'm really shocked. I expected around 20 million, if I'm being honest. But Caleb throws this. This is interesting. He says, I mean, he is paired with Jalen Carter, so he will always be undervalued. His sacks also weren't that high, too. But here's the thing. At the defensive, if you're getting 5 sacks at the D tackle position, that's really, really good. That's really see, defensive tackles aren't known to get sacks. It's really the edge guys. If you're getting 5 sacks at the D tackle position, that's a win. That's a productive D tackle. That's a really good D tackle. He's definitely getting around 18 million. He's getting around 8. It's no way. It's no way. It's no way. It's no way. But you guys may be right, though. You guys may be right about the fact that maybe they're factoring in the fact that he played next to Jalen Carter and how Jalen Carter dominated his matchups and how he commanded double teams. Maybe they are factoring that in. Because remember, Jalen Carter never left the football field. Jalen Carter was on the football field over 80% of the time. Let me make sure I got that right here. Jalen Carter, his snap count. So in 2024, Jalen Carter played 84% of the defensive snaps. 84% of the defensive snaps. So maybe, so it's 84%. Eagle has landed. Jalen Carter was on the football field 84% of the time. He played 831 defensive snaps. He was on the field 84% of the time. Milton Williams, let's find out with him. Milton Williams was on the football field 48% of the time. He played 501 defensive snaps. And he accumulated 5 sacks, 7 tackles for loss, 10 quarterback hits. And in the playoffs, he accumulated 2 sacks, 2 tackles for loss, 2 quarterback hits, a fumble recovery, 2 pass deflections, a forced fumble. So over the entire 2024-2025 campaign, Milton Williams accumulated 7 sacks, 9 tackles for loss, 12 quarterback hits, 2 forced fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries, and 2 pass deflections. Maybe you guys are right about something. Maybe you guys are right about something. Jalen Carter probably is the reason why this number isn't higher. But I believe Milton Williams is going to get, at bare minimum, 18 million. And that's me trying to be friendly about it. He's going to get a bare minimum of $18 million. Bare minimum. Bare minimum. It's free agency. Teams are going to overpay. Teams are desperate for trench help. That's what you guys got to keep in mind. You got to keep that in mind. Free agency, teams overpay. All right. Now let's go to Mekhi Becton. Again, I feel like Zach Bond and Mekhi Becton are the targets for the Eagles. Mekhi Becton is only 25 years old. He was a beast at guard. Let's figure out what his market value may be. Mekhi Becton All right, here we go. Mekhi Becton, average annual salary, $10.2 million. That's a steal, honestly. It's honestly a steal. That's really a steal, we're being honest. The big ticket, that's actually a steal. I want to also show you guys guard contracts. So as of right now, Milton Williams has a predicted average annual salary of $10.2 million. This is actually not a bad price for the guard position. Not a bad price at all. Alex says only a handful of D tackles got a bag. If Philly retains him for $16 and $18 million, I can see him staying. You got to factor in that Jordan Davis is coming up. You got to factor in Jalen Carter is going to come up soon. Jalen Carter's entering year 3. Jordan Davis entering year 4. The Eagles got to decide to pick up Jordan Davis' 5th-year option this offseason. They got to decide. The Eagles are going to have to decide if they're going to pick up Jordan Davis' 5th-year option. They're going to have to decide. And if I know the Eagles, I don't think they pick up Jordan Davis' 5th-year option. I don't think they pick it up. I don't think they pick that up. I think they're willing to gamble and not pick up his option and then get him at a cheaper price tag. But yeah, Mekhi Becton, predicted average annual salary of $10.2 million. Now, keep this in mind, you guys, right? $10.2 million. That's what they're predicting. Think about this. So $10.2 million, right? Let me show you guys what guards are making in the league. Let me show you what guards are making in the league, right? So Landon Dickerson, as of right now, is the highest paid guard in football. Rightfully so. Rightfully so. You got Chris Lindstrom making $20.5 million. Remember, keep that 10.2 in mind for Mekhi. That's a prediction. That's a prediction. Landon Dickerson making $21 million. Chris Lindstrom making $20.5. Quentin Nelson making $20 million. Robert Hunt making $20 million. Titus Howard making $18.6. Samuel Cosme making $18.5. Zach Martin making $18.4. Quinn Meinerz making $18 million. Elgin Jenkins making $17 million. Jonah Jackson, $17 million. Brandon Scherf, $16.5 million. Joe Thuney making $16 million. Let's just stop there, right? Let's just stop there for a second. Let's just stop at Joe Thuney. Mekhi Becton is not getting Joe Thuney money. Joe Thuney is a multi-time Pro Bowler, multi-time All-Pro, I believe, Super Bowl champion, if I'm not mistaken. He won Super Bowls with the Chiefs, with the Patriots. Joe Thuney is making $16 million a year. Mekhi Becton's not getting that. So remember, that 10.2 is the estimate, right? And also, Mekhi Becton is a tackle that transitioned to guard. He's a tackle that transitioned to guard. And I think, according to Pro Football Focus, he was ranked in the, I think, top 20 or top 25 at guard. So he's been ranked as a starting level guard, but not an elite guard, not yet. Mekhi Becton is not an elite guard, not yet. He has elite traits, the size, the athleticism, the power, but he's not an elite guard by fundamentals and technique. I think Jeff Stoutland still has a lot of work to do with him still. So let's continue. Joe Tooney, $16 million. Joe Batonio, $16 million. Kevin Dotson, $16 million. Wyatt Teller, $14.2 million. Damian Lewis, $13.25. Ben Powers, $12.8. Shaq Mason, $12 million. Cesar Ruiz, $11 million. John Ryan, the guard from the Giants, $10 million. Alex Kappa, $8.7 million. So I think Isaac Seumalo, former Eagles guard, Isaac Seumalo is making $8 million a year. And you guys know how good he was with the Eagles. Isaac Seumalo is making $8 million a year. Don't be surprised if you see Mekhi Becton flirting around between $7 to $9 million. I think Mekhi Becton is going to come back on a contract with an average annual salary between $7 to $9 million per season. That's what I think. That's what I think. What do you guys think about that? Am I off? Am I reaching? Am I reaching when I say that? Because again, Mekhi Becton, he has elite traits, but he's still developing at the position. Jason A-Team says, nah, I think some team will pay him more. S. Blunt says, when you factor in his knee issues and the PFF scores, I think $8 million is appropriate. I agree 100%. I agree 100%. I agree 100%. Looking for Sasuke says, I don't know. I think Tyler Steen replaces him. That is something that we also have to consider. Very good point, Sasuke. Very good point. Tyler Steen, he's going to be entering year 3. He's going to be entering year 3. Do the Eagles let Mekhi Becton walk and elevate Tyler Steen to the starting right guard spot? He can do it. We know he can do it. But Steen doesn't have the physical gifts. He doesn't have the physical gifts that Mekhi Becton has. I like Steen. And Steen is good. But he doesn't have those elite physical gifts that Mekhi Becton has. And also, you put Steen at guard, you get smaller. You lose some power. Steen has been good as a, you know what I think? I think the Eagles love Steen as their swing guard. I think the Eagles love Steen as their swing guard. And you also got Trevor Keegan. He's going to be entering year 2. You know what I mean? So the Eagles got some decisions to make. But I personally think if the Eagles bring back Mekhi Becton, it's going to be for a price tag between $7 to $9 million. That's what I think. That's what I think. Even though Spot Track predicts he can get $10 million. He's 25. You got to factor in the age and all that. All right, let's see what we got here. Let's keep this ball rolling here. So we did Josh Sweat. We did Zach Bond. We discussed Mekhi Becton. We discussed Milton Williams' contract. Let's go to, let's look at Kenny Gainwell, because I don't think Kenny's coming back. Kenny Gainwell, yeah, that's about right. That's about right. I could see a team giving him a 1-year, 2-year deal, 1.6 million, 2 million, whatever it is. I could definitely see that. I could definitely see that. I could definitely see that. For sure. I could definitely see Kenny Gainwell getting 1 million from somebody, 1.5 million. I could see that. Here's the thing, though. Why bring Kenny Gainwell back when you drafted Will Shipley? Why bring him back? You drafted Will Shipley. His skill set is the exact same as Kenny Gainwell's. The exact same. Why would I spend money on Kenny Gainwell when I got Will Shipley waiting, a younger player on a rookie deal that I don't got to worry about for the next 4 years, next 3 years, and I could draft another running back? S. Blunt says, are we comfortable with Shipley in pass pro? I am. He's only going to get better, but I am. I'm comfortable with him, and I think he's going to get better at it. I've seen Will Shipley get some pass pro in the preseason. I liked what I saw. He's willing. He's fearless. He's not afraid to throw his body around. I've seen Will Shipley get some blocking done in the preseason. Because remember, he didn't play much in the regular season. So all we have is preseason tape. I've seen Will Shipley get some pass pro reps in the preseason. He's willing. He's fearless when he does it. See, the thing about pass pro at running back, being willing, just being willing is the first step. So I like Will Shipley. I think the Eagles let Kenny G walk, and they bring back Will Shipley. I mean, and Will Shipley elevates the running back too. That's what I think. All right. Another player that we really haven't discussed too much is Isaiah Rodgers. Now, Isaiah Rodgers is 27 years old. Isaiah Rodgers is 27 years old. He only was making $1 million this year, right? He was only making $1 million. Now, here's the thing about Isaiah Rodgers. If Darius Slay walks, if they lose Darius Slay, I think they consider Isaiah Rodgers. I really do. I really believe they consider that. I really believe they consider that. And they're going to make him and Ringo compete. Yes, absolutely, S. Blunt. Just like last time. S. Blunt. I can definitely see the Eagles moving on from Darius Slay, bringing back Isaiah Rodgers. He's younger. He's fast. He's put on some good tape. He's put up some good tape. But also, teams are desperate. Once again, don't be surprised if a team overpays for Isaiah Rodgers. Don't be surprised. That's the part that we got to always keep in mind. There's going to always be a team that's willing to overpay. Always. And Rodgers has put up some good tape. Milton Williams has put up great tape. Josh Sweat's put up great tape. Zach Bonds put up great tape. Mekhi Becton's put on great tape. Cooper's not going to the outside. He's a nickel. Coop's not going to the outside, Jason. He's not going to the outside. He's in slot. Coop is way more valuable to you in the slot. Way more valuable. Significantly more valuable. He's significantly more valuable in the slot. He can play the run. See, having Cooper DeJean, is he restricted? Hold on. Is he restricted? Isaiah Rodgers is unrestricted. The only restricted free agent we have is Britton Covey. Everybody else is unrestricted. It's fair game. It's fair game here. It's fair game for Isaiah Rodgers. Cooper DeJean is a slot corner. He's an inside corner. He can play the run well. Cooper DeJean being in the slot allows for the Philadelphia Eagles to play with two linebackers on the field because Cooper's so good at playing the run. He provides versatility to that defense. Cooper DeJean is a nickel. It allows him to roam. It allows him to play sideline to sideline. You actually see Cooper DeJean's athletic gifts on full display in the slot. You see his skill set on full display in the slot. Full display. I feel like if you put Cooper DeJean on the outside, you may not be able to really tap into his full repertoire. You're not going to be able to tap into his full instincts. Cooper DeJean's skill set is fully realized, fully maximized in that slot, in that where he's able to float. I do not want Cooper DeJean exclusively playing outside. I want him just being able to float and just maneuver and just control the middle of the field. Cooper DeJean and Zach Bond had the middle of the field on lock for the Philadelphia Eagles. Think about that, y'all. We've complained so much about how the Eagles were always weak in the middle of the field on defense. Did we not? We've discussed on so many occasions how weak the Philadelphia Eagles have been in the middle of the field on defense. Cooper DeJean and Zach Bond have locked that down because they're so athletic, their ability to play sideline to sideline, their instincts, their play recognition. You're able to see Zach Bond and Cooper DeJean's full skill set on full display in the middle of the field. So Cooper DeJean belongs in the middle of the field. He's rangy. He's strong enough and big enough to play the run. He knows how to play the gaps well. He knows how to fit. He knows his run fits. He communicates very well. He made life easier for Darius Slay, made life easier for Quinyon Mitchell. Like my man S. Blunt said, you replaced Maddox and Cunningham for DeJean and Zach Bond. The middle of the field was on lock. Melly J, you're right. Their football IQ was invaluable. So, look, you guys, the Eagles have a lot of tough decisions to make in free agency. They have a lot of tough decisions to make in free agency. They have a lot of tough decisions to make. Are they going to be able to bring back Milton Williams? I don't think so. Are they going to be able to bring back Josh Sweat? I don't think so. Are they going to be able to bring back Zach Bond? I think so. I think Zach Bond is a priority. I think Mekhi Becton is somebody they can bring back. Isaiah Rodgers, depending on what happens with Slay, I think they move on from Slay and bring back Isaiah Rodgers. You feel what I'm saying? So a lot of tough decisions have to be made here. A lot of them. Marcus Craig with the super chat. Thank you, big dog. And thank you guys for smashing that like button, man. Make sure you guys stay active. Keep hitting that like button. We got over 270 people in the live stream. Make sure you guys keep hitting that like button. Let's try to get the 200 likes, y'all. Let's try to get to 200 likes, you guys. We are at 142. Let's try to get to 200 likes. Let's get that done. Let's get that done, people. We got 279 in the live stream. We got 145 likes. Let's get that up to 200. Marcus Craig says, Bond is my first priority, then Sweat. Zach Bond is my first priority as well, bro. What he provided for the middle of your defense, the heart of your defense, is invaluable. It can't be overlooked. It can't be understated. Zach Bond transformed the linebacker position. You lost Nakobe Dean during your playoff run, and Zach Bond held that shit down as the mic. Think about that. You lost Nakobe Dean, and your linebacker core didn't miss a beat. I also think that hurts Nakobe Dean's negotiations as well. I think that hurts Nakobe Dean's leverage. Nakobe Dean, he had a phenomenal year 3. He got hurt in the playoffs. He was having a great game, got hurt in the playoffs. In the first game, he played every single game this year, I believe. I think he missed one game this year. But Nakobe Dean had a great season in year 3. But now he's entering year 4, most likely on the PUP list, with a torn patella. The linebacker core didn't miss a beat when he got hurt. Oren Burks was able to come in and do his job and made an impact next to Zach Bond. In my humble opinion, that told me who was the more valuable linebacker between Zach Bond and Nakobe Dean. That told me who was the more valuable guy. Zach Bond was able to elevate Oren Burks. He was able to make life easier for Oren Burks. Oren Burks playing in between Cooper DeJean and Zach Bond. We didn't miss a beat. We didn't miss a beat. That's something we have to factor in. So, but also, here's the thing. This is not me saying Nakobe Dean is now chopped liver. But what I am saying is because Zach Bond and Oren Burks was able to hold it down the way they did, I'm willing to bet, and also Nakobe Dean got hurt, I'm willing to bet the Eagles are going to be able to bring back Nakobe Dean on a very cheap price tag. Nakobe Dean is entering year 4, the final year of his contract with the Eagles. He's entering year 4. And he's entering it on the PUP list. He's had to battle injuries in his career, but when he's on the field, he's talented. I think the Eagles have leverage in the Nakobe Dean negotiations. I think the Philadelphia Eagles hold all the cards when it comes to Nakobe Dean's future. And we know the Eagles like him. We know the Eagles like him. But when you see Zach Bond be able to hold down the green dot throughout that playoff run, and Oren Burks came in and did what he did, Nakobe Dean doesn't have leverage on top of being hurt. Harry Roseman is going to be able to tell Nakobe Dean what he's paying him. And Nakobe Dean is he's only going to be able to decide whether or not he's going to take it. Simple as that. Nakobe Dean has no leverage. He's hurt, and Oren Burks came in and picked up the pieces. Zach Bond had the green dot, didn't miss a beat. And Nakobe's battled injuries throughout his career. Nakobe is going to be brought back on a very cheap price tag. He's entering the final year of his deal. The final year. Relative Time Work says it will be a challenge when the Georgia contingent starts to fragment, as some can't be kept around. Hey, listen, these guys understand that it's a business before anything else. These young guys know it's a business before anything else. We all know who are the top priority Bulldogs here. We know who are the top priority Georgia Bulldogs. That's Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith. Those are the top dogs. Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith. Tiffany Dark Chocolate says Bond will be here if nobody resigns. Vic is going to fight for Bond. Absolutely. I don't think it's. I actually don't think. I actually don't think it's a conversation. I think Zach Bond is going to be here. Magnificent Fam says they say that we would have to give up too much talent or too much in general for Myles Garrett. You think this is true? Here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. Because Myles Garrett came out and made it clear that he wants out of Cleveland, Cleveland lost leverage a little bit. You have a disgruntled player. So they have to move him, right? Now, Cleveland, they came out and said, yeah, we don't plan on moving them, things of that nature, right? You know, they have to say that because they can't afford to lose any more leverage than they already have. When Myles Garrett came out with that statement, the Browns' leverage went down, which is why the Browns had to respond and say, hey, we don't plan on moving them. They know that when you have a disgruntled player on your roster, you have less leverage than you would like. They also know if you make it wide open that he's available, you lose leverage. So I'm unsure what Myles Garrett would command. I'm really unsure about it. That's a very interesting situation because Myles Garrett is a game changer for any team. And there will be teams who will overpay, who will overcommit, who will overpursue. There will be teams who are willing to give up a king's ransom for Myles Garrett. That's a fact. Make sure you guys smash that like button, you guys. I really do appreciate it. Let's get to 200 likes, you guys. We got 276 people tuned in. to the live stream. Let's get to 200 likes, you guys. Come on now. So I don't have a definitive answer for you, Magnificent. I don't have a definitive answer for you. But I do know the Browns lost some leverage when Myles Garrett released it to the world that he wanted out. And they're trying their hardest to hold on to whatever leverage they do have by saying he's not available. We'll see, man. Andrew Nathan with the super chat. Thank you, my friend. He says, Slay 1 year discount, Rodgers 2 year deal with starter money in the second year. He backs up Slay until he retires. Mekhi 3 year deal, Bond 3 year deal. I don't think you go into the season with both Slay and Isaiah Rodgers on your roster. I don't think so. I don't think you go into the season. I really don't. I don't think you go into the season with Slay and Rodgers on your roster. I really, really don't think so. Nah. I think it's either or, Andrew. I really think it's either or. I really think it's either or. As far as Mekhi Becton goes, Mekhi may get because of his injury history. You might see Mekhi get a 2 year deal, honestly. Mekhi is either going to get a 2 year or a 3 year deal. So you may be right. Bond is definitely getting a 3 year deal. He's definitely getting a 3 year deal. It's just a matter of how much. Green Wingman with the super chat. Thank you, my friend. He says, here's a thought. With all due respect to Bond's abilities, first ever all-pro abilities, how really transferable is that on other teams? He could be only good under Vic Fangio. That's possible, Green Wingman. That's very possible. We've seen that happen so many times in the NFL. Guys have a great season in one system, under one defense, under one coordinator, and then they go to a new defense and they're not the same player because they're not being used the same way. Or maybe they're being asked to do more. That's an entirely plausible assertion, Greeny. That's entirely plausible. And that's why I talked about Bond being able to maximize his abilities. All teams won't use you the same way. All teams won't use you the same way. And also, he's only proven to do this for one season. You see, listen, we're at the point in the season now where emotions got to go to the backside. Now it's about the business. Now it's about value. Now it's about supply and demand. This is the part of the year where we have to tuck our feelings and talk about the real, have the tough conversations. Save your feelings, save your emotions for the regular season. Now, this is where the grown-ups got to have a conversation. And Green Wingman brings up a good point here. As great as Zach Bond was with the Eagles, he's only been able to do it for one season. This is his 5th year in the league. He's a 5-year pro. And on top of that, he was 23 when he was drafted. So he came into the league a little late. He was an older player. When he was on the Saints, he was a special teams guy. Now, granted, there were some talented guys in front of him. Can't deny that. So it's kind of hard to push the line on the Saints. They had some good linebackers. But he comes to Philly on a 1-year deal. He proves that he can play the position. And he played it very well. He was a first-team All-Pro. You can't deny what he's done. You can't deny what he's done. to be a first-team All-Pro in your first year at a position is insane. But it's also his only year at the position. He doesn't have the equity in the position. He doesn't have the equity just yet. He played well, had a phenomenal year. But how many times have we seen guys have phenomenal years in one team and go to another team and they're not the same? I think that's something that we all have to consider here. War, what's good, my guy? He says, how many comp picks you think we getting? AKA, how many starters you think we letting walk? Ooh, man. I think we lose Milton Williams. I think we lose Josh Sweat. So that's 2. I think that's about it. I don't know how the comp picks work if you cut a player. Or if you move on from a player, if you trade him or whatever. I don't know how that works, but as far as just free agency goes, you're going to lose Milton Williams and Josh Sweat in free agency. You're going to lose them. I'll be surprised if they come back. We're about to end the show soon, you guys. I appreciate you guys being here. I appreciate you guys being here, man. I really do appreciate it. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys stay engaged. Let me ask you guys a question before we get out of here. Let me ask you guys a question. Well, let me get to the super chats first. Scotty, he says, why Simone mad at you in LB? Y'all gonna find out on the link up later on. By the way, the link up is going to be live at 4:30 p.m. Eastern time, 3:30 Central time. Simone, Lord Brunson, and myself, we're going to be live on the link up at 4:30 p.m. Eastern time, you guys. Make sure you stay locked in. Make sure you guys stay locked in. But you're going to find out later on, Scotty. You're going to find out later on. It's going to be fun. King Jordan was good, bro. He says, I don't care. Love Josh, but let him walk. Bring Zach Baum back and bring Miles in. Give up those picks. We're trying to keep winning titles. I hear you on that. I definitely hear you, for sure. You got a chance here to really do something crazy. You got to strike while the iron's hot. Mirror 2X. He says, what about Max Crosby? I heard Max Crosby was going to be available. But he also, he made it very clear that it all depends on what direction the Raiders are taking their team in. He has to. It's very similar to Myles Garrett. It's very similar to Myles Garrett. Will Myles Garrett we know Myles Garrett doesn't believe in their vision anymore in Cleveland. But Max Crosby, will Max Crosby buy into the vision that the Raiders are trying to sell? That's going to be the question. Because guys want to win. It's just that simple. Guys want to win, and they want to win big. But Max Crosby could be a target. But, the Eagles are very big on character, very, very big on culture, guys, right? From what I hear, Max Crosby is a great teammate. Great teammate from what I hear. So, we'll see. Alex with the super chat. He says the Super Bowl mic'd up episode was crazy, bro. It was crazy, man. It was so emotional. I loved it. Let me ask you guys a question before we get out of here. Just a quick topic before we get out of here. I want to talk to you guys about Jalen Hurts' legacy briefly. How does this Super Bowl victory How does being Super Bowl MVP impact Jalen Hurts' legacy as the Philadelphia Eagles quarterback? Give me you guys' opinion regarding Jalen Hurts' legacy and the trajectory he's on. Because if you ask me, Jalen Hurts has cemented himself, in my opinion, as the greatest or soon to be greatest quarterback in Eagles history, right? We know Nick Foles won the Super Bowl, but he was a backup quarterback doing it. You know, we know Nick Foles is not really a franchise quarterback, right? We know obviously Donovan McNabb has done tremendous things for the Philadelphia Eagles, Pro Bowls, All Pros, NFC Championship appearances, one NFC Championship win. You know what I mean? Kept the Eagles relevant for a long time. Him and Andy Reid. Randall Cunningham is arguably, probably easily the most talented quarterback the Eagles have ever had. Randall Cunningham, unfortunately, never had an offensive line, right? He had a defense, but never had an offensive line to block for him, so he was always running for his life. You know, Randall Cunningham is easily the most talented quarterback the Eagles have ever had, easily. The arm, the athleticism, the elusiveness. It's insane. But you got to put Jalen Hurts over McNabb. You got to. In 4 years as a starter, 4 playoff appearances, 2 NFC Championship trophies, 1 Super Bowl loss and a Super Bowl win and a Super Bowl MVP. But you got to put him in that category. But see, McNabb has longevity on its side, right? McNabb has the longevity. He was our quarterback for a long time. You know, he has the longevity. But I think when it's all said and done, Jalen Hurts is going to have more hardware. He's going to have more accolades. The only thing Donovan McNabb has over Jalen Hurts right now is longevity. That's it. He has the longevity. That's it. But when it's all said and done, Jalen Hurts is going to have more hardware, more success. All he got to do is stay healthy, like my man S. Blunt said. So I think Jalen Hurts, his legacy is being cemented as we speak. I think Jalen Hurts has already cemented himself into the Eagles Hall of Fame. I think Jalen Hurts has already cemented himself into the Eagles Hall of Fame. Super Bowl MVP, Super Bowl MVP, the Lombardi Trophy. He's an All-Pro, 2-time Pro Bowler, Burt Bell Award winner. Jalen Hurts has a lot on his resume thus far. He has a lot on his resume thus far. Hurts has broken records, Super Bowl records, playoff record. I mean, you know, and also Jalen Hurts has, you know, and also we got to be honest about this too. McNabb only played with really one good receiver. And that was, you know, Terrell Owens, and that didn't last long, right? But that was an era before teams were investing the kind of money they were into the wide receiver position. And like S. Blunt said, in just 4 years starting, very impressive resume. Very impressive. Like I said, All-Pro, 2-time Pro Bowler, Burt Bell Award winner, 2 NFC Championship trophies, 2 Super Bowl appearances, 1 Super Bowl win, Super Bowl MVP, broken Super Bowl records. Brandon Lewis says Hurts can barely throw 20 touchdowns. And this is where the argument starts. This is where the arguments begin. Because you guys are so wrapped up in the quarterback position in the traditional sense. When you talk about Jalen Hurts, talk about his total touchdowns. Talk about how he impacts the game in the run game. People want to cherry pick Jalen Hurts' stats. Jalen Hurts is a dual threat quarterback. No, Brandon Lewis is an Eagles fan. I think Brandon Lewis is an Eagles fan. I think. But people like to cherry pick Jalen Hurts' stats so it can fit their narrative. But the reality is, whether people want to accept it or not, Jalen Hurts has logged in an impressive career for himself. Jalen Hurts, over his career, just from a touchdown perspective. Matter of fact, we're gonna do the quick math. We're gonna do the quick math, okay? Jalen Hurts, I'll bring it on screen so you guys can see it. You see, Jalen Hurts, he doesn't play the game with ego. All right. Jalen Hurts' stats right here, right? Remember, year 4 is a starter. He didn't start his first year. So year 1 is a starter. Year 1, he put up 3,900 yards in total offense. Let's do the math here. I'm adding in his passing and his rushing. I'm adding in his passing and his rushing here. Let me see if I can find a better way to show this. Okay, let me see. I'm trying to find a better way to show this. See if I can find it. Nah, it's not a better way. Okay. All right, we got to do some mental math. No big deal. We got to do some mental math. All right, so where was I? All right, so Jalen Hurts, 2021, year 1 as a starter, right? He put up over 3,900 yards in total offense. And he put up 26 total touchdowns, right? 26 total touchdowns. In 2022, year 2 as a starter, he put up over 4,400 yards in total offense. 4,400 yards in total offense with a grand total of 35 total touchdowns. In 2023, he put up a grand total of 4,400 yards in total offense. And he had 38 touchdowns total. And in 2024, he put up around 3,500 yards in total offense and a grand total of 32 touchdowns. So, remind you, 2024, Saquon Barkley comes in, and Saquon Barkley puts up 2,000 rushing yards on his own. So, it's a trade-off. When you got a guy like Saquon Barkley in the building, it's a trade-off, right? Someone's going to lose their numbers. Someone's going to lose their stats, and it's okay. But what did you do with the opportunities is what matters most. The bottom line is, I think Jalen Hurts, he's giving you 2 seasons of 4,400 plus yards in total offense and 35 plus touchdowns. He's giving you 3 seasons of 30, 35 plus total touchdowns. He's giving you seasons of over 600, 700 rushing yards multiple times. Like, Jalen Hurts doesn't play the position the way every other quarterback plays it. So I'm not going to look at Jalen Hurts as somebody who's going to throw 40 touchdowns in a season, who's going to throw for 5,000, 4,500 passing yards. I'm not looking at him for that. Jalen Hurts is effective and he's efficient and he's potent in the passing game. He pushes the ball. He pushes the ball down the field. Let's not get it twisted. Jalen Hurts tied his career high for average yards per pass attempt, even though his passing yards went down. He had a career high in accuracy. He tied his career high in average yards per attempt. He had a career low in interceptions as a starter. Had a career high in passer rating. Jalen Hurts, although his total passing yards and pass attempts went down, his accuracy skyrocketed. His yards per attempt jumped. His interceptions went down. His passer rating went up. So Jalen Hurts has pushed the ball down the field. Jalen Hurts has been efficient. He's been accurate. And he's been potent in the pass game. He's a big game quarterback who elevates his game in the playoffs, right? You see, everybody gets enamored with the regular season numbers, but Jalen Hurts has pushed the ball down the field, not just in the regular season, but also in the playoffs. He's been effective in the ground game in the playoffs. He's a big game quarterback. He's one of 2 quarterbacks to generate 35 plus points in the Super Bowl. He's one of the only quarterbacks. He's the only quarterback outside of Tom Brady and Joe Burrow to beat Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. He's the only quarterback outside of Tom Brady to outplay Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. Lamar Jackson can't beat Mahomes. Josh Allen can't beat Mahomes in the playoffs. The only quarterbacks that have proven that they can beat Mahomes in the playoffs is Joe Burrow and Jalen Hurts and Tom Brady. And Tom Brady's retired. So the only 2 quarterbacks in the league that have proven they can beat Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs is Jalen Hurts and Joe Burrow. And guess what? They're both 1-1 against Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs, if I'm not mistaken. They're both 1-1. Joe Burrow is 1-1 against Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. Jalen Hurts is 1-1 against Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. And all time, Jalen Hurts is 2-2 against Mahomes. 2-2. All time. Meanwhile, Josh Allen can't beat him in the playoffs. Josh Allen is 0-4. 0-4 against Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. 0-4. but they want me to be concerned about my guy. Not only did Jalen Hurts win Super Bowl MVP in the Super Bowl, he outplayed Patrick Mahomes on the way to do it. He outplayed him in 2 Super Bowls, bar none. Not even a conversation. Since Jalen Hurts has taken over, 2-2 and gets Mahomes. Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow has, let me make sure I got this right here. As of right now, Joe Burrow is 3-2 against Patrick Mahomes. Joe Burrow is 3-2 against Mahomes. Jalen is 2-2. Just saying. Did you guys also know that Jalen Hurts is the only quarterback in the NFL to win a Super Bowl that was drafted after Mahomes? Did you guys know that? Did you guys know that? Did you guys know that since Mahomes has been in the league, this is how dominant he's been, right? And again, words matter. Listen to what I'm saying. Since Mahomes has been in the league, the only quarterback to win a Super Bowl that was drafted after him is Jalen Hurts. Think about that. That's a real stat. That's real. Now, since Mahomes has been in the league, Tom Brady has won the Super Bowl. Matthew Stafford has won the Super Bowl, right? Right? Since Mahomes has been in the league, we've seen Tom Brady win the Super Bowl. We've seen Matthew Stafford win the Super Bowl. And we've seen Jalen Hurts win the Super Bowl. Since Mahomes has been in the league, only one quarterback has won the Super Bowl that's been drafted after him. These dudes outside of Jalen Hurts, these dudes is Mahomes' sons. Outside of Jalen Hurts, all these quarterbacks that y'all love, they are Mahomes' sons. They are his sons. He took them in every night. But when Mahomes lay his head on his pillow at night, he has nightmares about that man, Jalen Hurts. He has nightmares about that. The whole AFC belongs to Mahomes until further notice. Come on, man. Come on, man. Anyway, we're about to get out of here, y'all. Thank y'all so much for supporting the channel, smashing that like button. You guys have been phenomenal. Thank you. It means so much to me. Again, we got over 230 people on the live stream, 191 likes. You guys, let's get to 200 likes before I get out of here, right? I need 9 more likes. I need 9 more likes, you guys. Give me 9 more. If you haven't hit that like button yet, do me that favor. I need 9 more likes. I need 8 more. Come on now. Give me 8 more likes before we go, y'all. Let's go. Smash that like button. You know what I mean? It's been a phenomenal show. The Eagles parade has been phenomenal. Green Wing member the super chat. He says Hurts needs 2 more for the Hall of Fame. I think if he get 1 more here in the Hall of Fame, I think he just need 1 more. You know how hard it is to win the Super Bowl? If Hurts just gets 1 more Super Bowl and he just plays good football, he's in the Hall of Fame. If he gets 2 Super Bowls and he continues to break some records, whatever it may be, and he stays healthy, I think 1 more Super Bowl he can get into the Hall of Fame. All he got to do is just, play well. After that, hey, let's get it. We did it, y'all. Thank y'all so much for locking in. Over 200 likes, man. You guys have been phenomenal. Man. Also, real quick, before we go, you guys know what I got to do here. I got to show love to my members. Man. Got to show love to the Big Ten Repper, Gregory Trower, Infinite Ace, Tony, Chaotic Green, 757 CJ, Ian Blackwell Sr., Green Wingman, Doomsday Corner, Dana Scott, Alex, Mr. Eagles Nation, Trey 979, Carol Hockaday, Sweet Chin Music, Fan of the Eagles Fan, the Bull RJ, Fam U. What's going on, Big Dog? 1, 2, 3, 4. Big Pickin, Michael Hardy, Shep S. Blunt, Luther Winfield, Dank Bird Gang, 5259. Thank you, man. I appreciate you guys so much, man. Mr. Eagles Nation, thank you. Dana, thank you. Alex, thank you. Doomsday Corner, thank you. You guys have been phenomenal. I'm so grateful for all you guys who have supported the channel, who invested in the channel. The content does not stop. Just because you're Philadelphia Eagles are world fucking champions doesn't mean that the grind stops, baby. It doesn't mean that the grind stops. Just because we got 2 Super Bowls in the cabinet, just because Jalen Hurts has a Super Bowl MVP, just because we the littest city in the league, doesn't mean the grind stops. We're going to continue to cover your Philadelphia Eagles. We're going to continue to cover free agency. We're going to continue to cover the combine, the draft, prospects, OTAs, mandatory minicamp, training camp, preseason. Next season will be here before you know it. And I got you guys covered. Make sure you guys lock in at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 3:30 p.m. Central Time. I will be live with Simone Stanley, Lord Brunson at the link up. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed. You guys have been tuned in to Chalk It Up Sports via the Chalk It Up Sports Network, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. I'm your humble host, Tone DeShields II, and I'll see you next time.